the unknown. So dip inside your soul and dig a little deeper. Unlock the unknown. Discovering the truth will make you feel freer. Like a raging bull gives pain. Mysteries are hurricanes. The truth you seek is unbeknown. Unlock the unknown.
I won't accept it, what the skeptics even have to say. They disconnected, redirected, and it's so cliche. So much evidence is building up in our possession. So many elements conclude the answer to this question. From the page of myth to actuality, to unlock a locked door, where's the magic key?
Unlock the unknown. So dip inside your soul and dig a little deeper. Unlock the unknown. Discovering the truth will make you feel freer. Like a raging bull gives pain. These mysteries are hurricanes. The truth you seek is unbeknown. Unlock the unknown.
We have 77 counties in Oklahoma. We put reports in them, 66 counties.
Every tribe has a name for each thing. Cheyenne is massive misstep, which means giant monster.
These are some of the best cast footprints that I've seen in a very, very long time.
North Canadian River Project, we basically focus our investigations on the North Canadian River or central Oklahoma.
Welcome back to Squatch Ranger Files, episode 34. Hey guys, I'm very excited. We got a lot of great things going on. First thing is, me and some guys from the North Canadian River Project got a Bigfoot weekend planned next weekend, and I'll give more details about that as we go. Also, if you're interested in some unique Oklahoma Bigfoot gear, please check out my Squatch Ranger store. And also, if you have a Bigfoot encounter story and you would like to share it to this program, please email me at squatchranger@gmail.com. Okay guys, let's jump right in. Here is Squatch Ranger Files, episode 34. Number 1. Deer hunters hear heavy footsteps, wood knocks, and more. 2019, Southeast District, Johnston County, Oklahoma. Class C, third-person story. Date of incident, 11/27, 2019. Date of report, 11/29, 2019. Location, south of Ravia, Oklahoma, near railroad tracks in Johnston County, Oklahoma. This incident occurred on private land, river bottom type terrain, north of the Washita River. Two hunters, to remain anonymous, we will call them Fred and Dan for the report. Fred and Dan were deer hunting just after sunrise. They both were separated about 100 yards to maximize their hunt. One hunter, Fred, described sounds of sticks on the ground breaking from something very heavy. The feeling of uneasiness fell over him. He couldn't see what it was. He felt uneasy and knew something wasn't right. The other hunter, Dan, swore he heard his friend Fred call his name. This hunter, Dan, walked into about 10 to 12 yards toward his friend and whispered his name. "Fred." The other, Dan, answered. They located each other and told their experiences. The one, Fred, said he never called out to his friend Dan, and the other, Dan, learned of what Fred heard and felt. They both became very nervous and moved back to their vehicle. When they were putting away their gear, they heard what could only be described as a large bat hitting a tree. They said it echoed throughout the area. They immediately departed for home. Follow-up, NOBRO investigators report. This report was taken in third party. and the two hunters refused to openly tell their story. The third-party source is very reliable and has known the two hunters for many years. No other reports have been received from this area. The Tishomingo National Wildlife Refuge is just to the southeast. Here, both the Washita River and Pennington Creek feed the 4,000-acre Cumberland Pool, which is alive with plants and animals invisible to the naked eye. The crappie, sand bass, and channel, flathead, and blue catfish do well because of all the nutrients. In addition to the refuge's nutrient-rich waters, the landscape varies from grasslands to wild plum thickets to oak, hickory, elm woodlands, and farm fields planted with crops for wildlife. White-tailed deer emerge by the hundreds from the safety of the forests to join the geese in harvesting the crops planted for wildlife. With plenty of deer in the area, this could be the reason Bigfoot might be attracted to this area, along with all the crops planted for wildlife. The Bigfoot in this report may have been traveling to or from the wildlife refuge. This case is now closed. Number 2. Woman's Roadside and River Encounters, 1999 and 2003. Southeast District, Johnston County, Oklahoma. Class A, nighttime sighting. Class B, vocalizations. And Class B, smell and odor. In October 1999, I was 8 months pregnant with my oldest. My husband and I were driving back from Sulphur to Tishomingo very late at night. I can't remember the exact place, but I know we were somewhere between Mill Creek and Tishomingo on the highway, because I remember getting to Ravia, Easy Mart, and just crying because I was so scared. Anyways, something hairy that walked on 2 legs ran out of the woods, did like an army roll in front of our truck, stood up, and was huge. It was just standing probably about 40 feet in front of us as we were now stopped, looked at us, screamed, and then ran into the woods on the other side of the highway very fast. We waited a few minutes in shock and to see if something was chasing it. Then we hauled butt out of there. Approximately 4 or 5 years later, my family and my sister's family was fishing and camping at Washita River Bridge between Medill and Tish on a Mother's Day weekend. Again, it was late. We had lanterns for light. We were on the Tish side of the river, and from the other side we all heard some kind of screaming and what sounded like trees breaking and flying and falling. We could not see anything as it was very dark on the other side. Then we heard something that appeared to be huge, jumping and splashing in the water, and it was no fish. We were all prepared for it to swim across and get us. Whatever it was, we tried shining flashlights but never saw it. Then it got out of the water, still on the other side, and then a horrid smell came, and then we heard the screaming and trees breaking again, going in the opposite direction and fading off this time. It was so loud and so fast, and then gone. Follow-up, NOBRO Investigators Report. I spoke with the witness via the internet to finalize this report. I asked the witness to describe the creature's army roll, as she called it. She replied, "So I was riding. My husband was driving us home to Tish. It came from the right side of the highway, passenger side. Slammed on brakes. It did some kind of army-looking roll. I don't know, maybe tripped and fell? Then it stood up, looked at the truck, and did some kind of scream and ran fast towards husband's side of highway." We then tried to pinpoint her location of this sighting. The witness was having trouble remembering the exact spot. Later in the interview, I determined she was south of Mill Creek, on a straight stretch of highway. I asked if there was tree cover on both sides of the road, which she replied, yes, but on the left side, where the creature, ran to, had an open field that went into more woods also, and there was a little house way off the highway in the field behind us. It had a porch light on. It was far off though because I could barely make out the house. From this information, we were able to pinpoint her 1999 sighting location on a map along a stretch of Highway 1 northwest of Ravia, Oklahoma. Map included in this report. Her second encounter in 2003 happened along the Washita River southwest of Tishomingo, Oklahoma. She described the sighting location by stating, "The one that happened at Washita is the bridge outside of Tish, heading toward Medill, left-hand side of the bridge when you go over it, in that wooded area." With this information, we were able to pinpoint her encounter on a map. Map included in this report. I asked the witness what type of animal could have made the sounds she was hearing. She could only explain. At first, we thought hogs, but then it got so loud like giants were fighting with trees. The witness then felt the only explanation, as hogs can't pick up tree limbs. Perhaps the creature she previously saw in 1999? This case is now closed. Number 3. Gold digger sees Bigfoot from 200 yards away. 2006. Yavapai County, Arizona. Class A, daytime sighting. I was driving between Camp Verde and Strawberry, looking for a trail to go off on and maybe stumble onto some gold prospecting spots. Anyway, I went down one a couple miles and parked. I ended up hiking up a ridge and was looking down into the wash. It was late March and there was maybe 3 inches of water in the narrow creek. About 200 yards guessing, across and down the ravine, were a large group of boulders. I saw its head first. It peeks out a couple times and then crouched forward and scooped up a handful of water. After a couple seconds, it stood up for probably 5 or 6 seconds and then disappeared back behind the rocks. I say up on my side for almost a half hour, but never saw it again. It was shiny gloss black, maybe a little more than 7 feet. Short hair that was thinner around the midsection. It was too far to see facial details, but the skin part looked dark ash gray. The head was more of an oblong than a cone shape, and it set deep into the shoulders like there was no neck. I wasn't about to go down there. All I had besides a pan and bucket with scoops and stuff was a Ruger Bearcat with rat shot in it for snakes. Follow up. NOBRO investigators report. I spoke with the witness via the internet and wasn't able to get a map pinpoint of the sighting location, but the witness did offer the following information. Camp Verde on the goat trail of a road towards Strawberry, Arizona. It's up on that rim area. This sighting occurred in the middle of the Coconino National Forest. The elevation in the forest ranges from 2,600 feet in the southern part of the forest near the Verde River to 12,633 feet at the summit of Humphreys Peak, the highest point in the state of Arizona. Much of the forest is a high-altitude plateau. Average elevation is roughly 7,000 feet on the plateau that is located in the midst of the largest contiguous ponderosa pine forest in North America. Wildfire is a major concern across the Coconino National Forest. Despite the abundance of green vegetation throughout the forest, the region is classified as a high desert. Flagstaff, located in the northern part of the forest, receives about 22 inches of precipitation annually, including an average annual snowfall of 100 inches, while other areas of the forest receive even less. The lack of any significant rainfall during the spring and early summer, combined with the high temperatures and strong winds that are commonplace during that time of year, results in fire danger that is usually defined as very high or extreme during the months of May through July. The Bigfoot in this report was kneeling to get a handful of water, stood up for a few seconds, then disappeared. Because this area is known for little rainfall and high temperatures through spring and summer, it would be very important for a creature 7 feet tall to stay hydrated. This sighting happened in late March, early spring. It's possible this Bigfoot was on the move to higher elevations for cooler temperatures. This case is now closed. What is up, Squatch Ranger YouTube channel subscribers and viewers? You can now visit our online store. Just go to the Squatch Ranger Facebook page and click the Shop Now button, or visit the official website. I will provide a link in the description of this video. You can view many of our different products we offer, such as Oklahoma Bigfoot t-shirts, Oklahoma Bigfoot koozies, or Oklahoma Bigfoot 6-inch car decals. Maybe you would like Bigfoot to visit your birthday party. We can do that too. Please visit our online store to view all of the products and services we provide. Okay, it's now time to get back to Squatch Ranger Files.
Unlock the unknown.
I won't accept it what the skeptics even have to say.